So this video, I am reviewing a carnivore birthday cake recipe. Now, before I get into it, I want you to know I got the recipe from a blog site called Sovereign and Wild, and I think the site's worth a visit. I'm not affiliated in any way, but the photography is beautiful and the writing is fun, so go check it out. That said, I tried to be as honest in this review as possible. And I even got a few opinions from my husband and my kids. So stay tuned to the end. It's been a bit of a journey. I've got a lot of bits and pieces kind of woven together, or maybe quilted together, should I say. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find it useful. Meet me on the other side and I'll give you my final opinion. If you saw my interview, you know that in the past I have eaten birthday cake and have gotten a little bit in metabolic trouble because of it. Well, guess what? My children's birthdays are coming back up and they want me to eat birthday cake, and I would really rather not. So I have been looking on the internet for a birthday cake substitute or a carnivore birthday cake. And I found one, but we'll see. Now, I have tried these so-called carnivore cakes before. The one with the egg white and the egg yolk, and you put it all together. And they were fine. As food, it tasted fine. But it's not cake. Now, this site says that this carnivore birthday cake is cakey. We'll see. But I'm going to try it out so you don't have to, or if it turns out, you can try it with confidence. I'm going to get online and I'm going to order the stuff, and when it arrives, I'll let you know. Okay, here we are. I got the stuff that I ordered from Amazon, and I'm just going to show it to you. We got some glycine powder, and that's one of the sweeteners. Inositol powder. The pork rinds that are all ground up, and so this is your flour-like substitute, or this is your flour-like substance. So the pork rinds. And the beef tallow. Now, this beef tallow, the recipe recommends Sulu beef tallow if you want something that doesn't taste beefy. But when I tried to order it, it was going to be many more days. Like, everything was going to come on Friday, but then that was going to come like another week later. And I wanted to do it this weekend. So I went ahead, this was the second choice in the recipe, the Epic beef tallow. And this is a great brand. It's, you know, grass-fed. It's everything you would want in a beef tallow, except supposedly it's a little beefy. Now, I thought I would see. Yeah, it's not super strong. But you know how ribeyes smell when they're cooking? That's kind of how it smells. So I don't know that it's going to work for the icing. Now, the reason I wanted to use tallow for the icing instead of cream cheese icing, I love cream cheese icing, but birthday cake icing is made, what used to be made with lard, and then more recently in the last 50, 60 years, it's been made with Crisco and powdered sugar. Of course, I'm not going to use the powdered sugar. I'm using the glycine and inositol, but I thought this would give it a more birthday cake icing feel, and well, I don't know about taste, but feel. I don't know. Now I'm thinking I might go out and try to find some lard. Okay, so apparently I forgot to get something at the grocery store. Oh, see what I did there? I just went down a step like it was no big deal, and I'm getting ready to step off the curb like it's nothing. And I could not do that a few months ago. I am so excited about my ability to walk again. So, and which means I am walking myself to the grocery store to get heavy whipping cream. Now, I don't really think of heavy whipping cream because I don't like milk. So that's not something I've ever really, had or drank during my carnivore diet. But I do need it for this birthday cake that I'm making. So here I am on my way to go get it. Okay, I got my cream and I'm headed back home, and guess what? I've walked all the way here and I'm walking all the way back, and my joints do not hurt at all. It's such a life of freedom compared to what I had just a few months ago. Now, this trip is only a couple of blocks, which I could walk a couple of blocks before, but it was painful and my knees were like, and now they're not at all. My knees bend and just like normal, my legs move just like normal. It's such a miracle and I'm so grateful. All right, let's get to it, baking a birthday cake. Okay, so if I look a little disheveled, I just want you to know that I just finished the cake, just finished baking it, icing it, and everything. And I haven't tasted it yet. I want to taste it on camera so I can give you an honest review. My evaluation right now is the making of the cake was great. The only thing that was challenging were the layers. They were a little brittle, so putting it together was a little bit challenging. The icing handles perfect, just like a regular birthday cake icing. The cake layers, though, you have to be a little careful with them. Also, the recipe makes 2 layers, and they don't really raise like a normal cake. So it's a little flat. If I were to do this for real, trying to make it look like, a birthday cake, I would do a double batch. Do a double batch of icing, do a double batch of batter, and then I baked these in 2 8-inch pans, round pans, and then you would do 4 or 3, maybe not even 4, maybe 3, but you'd have more batter, and that might make the layers a little bit thicker and fluffier, I'm not sure. But that's what I'll do next time. If we decide that this is worth it, if it tastes, halfway decent at all. But I want you to see what the cake looks like. It looks like a cake, doesn't it? It's not chocolate. It's, just the regular basic cake. It's a little bit rough. I need to practice with how the ingredients handle a little bit more. But I did a little piping on the top. And yeah, so here we go. I'm gonna taste it. I really can't imagine what it tastes like. I don't know what it tastes like. I was careful not to make it a surprise. So here we go. It actually tastes good. It does not taste like birthday cake, but it tastes like a kind of cake. It tastes like graham cracker and kind of like cream cheese, but not, if it were cream cheese, it would definitely taste like graham cracker and cream cheese. The icing tastes good. The cake part tastes good. There is sweetness to it, but it's not like sugar sweetness. It's just like, it's not bitter. It's not savory. It's probably sweet, just sweet enough to not be savory. I'm gonna try another taste. It almost tastes like peanut butter graham cracker. And I don't know why it would taste like peanut butter at all. It's the pork rind, and it's eggs. I wonder if I added a little bit more egg, if it would hold together better. But if you've tried some of those other keto breads or keto cakes or whatever, and they tasted very eggy, kind of like a different version of scrambled eggs, this doesn't. This does not at all. This has a crumble. I don't know if you can see it on camera. This has a crumble that's very cake-like. It's amazing, really, it is. Is it worth the ingredients? It is. Now, what is it gonna do to my blood sugar or how I feel later? I don't know. You know, I will do more research on the glycerin and inositol to be able to tell you more about what that is. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna have any negative effects on me, but hopefully not. The actual cake is pork rinds and egg and some cream. That is all fine. The only thing that might be are the sweeteners, but they are not super sweet at all. But they're not savory. They are sweet. All right, well, I'm gonna say goodbye. My family is in the kitchen right now eating this already, but I wanted to take my first bite in front of the camera for you. So, you know, you can know, is it worth investing, you know, the money in the ingredients? And honestly, yes. For my daughter's birthday, I will make this for myself. Now, I'm not one of those moms that's gonna make my whole family eat this cake. My husband will probably eat it. My kids, I will make them the chocolate raspberry cake that I have been making them since they were born. And that's what they love. And I love it too, but I can't eat it anymore. This is what I'm gonna be eating. All right. Okay, so the update so far is that it's been 2.5 hours after I've eaten that cake, and I do not feel my best. I don't feel as sick as I would have if I'd eaten regular birthday cake, but I do feel just a little icky, a little headachy. And I checked my blood glucose at 2 hours after I'd eaten it, and it had come down to 91, but my ketones came down to 0.4. So it did negatively impact my metabolism. And no, of course, not as bad as real cake. Also, as far as taste goes, the original recipe included blueberries, lemon zest, and honey that I did not include. So if you want to try it, keep that in mind. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's worth a try. It wasn't horrible, but it's not as great as I was really wanting it to be. Okay, hi. So just to let you know, the last time I did this segment, the audio didn't work. So it's been a few days and I'm doing it over. And I'm just giving you some information that you kind of need. Now, part of it, I'm going to use my notes because I just told you what my glucose was 2 hours after I had the carnivore cake. But I didn't tell you what my glucose is normally after a meal. So 2 hours after a meat meal, my glucose is typically 88 and my ketones are 0.6. So again, 2 hours after I had the carnivore cake, my glucose was 91 and my ketones were 0.4. So really, it didn't knock me that far off of what normal is. I also told you that I was going to tell you a little bit about glycine and inositol. Well, that's a video all on its own. However, here's the basics. Glycine is basically an amino acid that's found in meat, and it happens to be sweet. Inositol is a sugar made in the body and found also in foods. In our kidneys, it's made from glucose, and you make about 2 grams a day. It tastes sweet, and it's thought to help metabolic syndrome and PCOS, but there's not real strong evidence on it, although a lot of people are buying it as a supplement to help them with their insulin. The side effects, though, of inositol can be diarrhea, gas, nausea, and headaches. So, I had a bit of a headache, and that was kind of my thing. Now, how my family felt when I went back to the kitchen and got their report, my husband thought that the icing was very good, but that the cake tasted a little salty. My children thought that the icing was very good, but that the cake tasted a little bit like bacon bits. Now, when I told them I thought it tasted a little bit like peanut butter and graham cracker, they thought I was crazy. So there you have it. Everybody agreed that the icing was really super good. One of my children said maybe people could just make the icing and eat that. But after my little headache, I don't know that I recommend that. Although my husband didn't get a headache, my kids didn't get headaches, nobody else had that feeling at all. So, I don't know. Okay, so this is the last square in the quilt. I woke up this morning and I wasn't feeling quite myself, just slightly nauseated, not real bad. I checked my glucose and it was 72 and my ketones were 4.3. I feel like I'm fine. I don't have mouth ulcers. My joints aren't achy. I don't feel any other ill effects at all. After I had my buttered coffee and my breakfast, I felt normal again, just back to my regular self. So, my husband, he ate a whole slice of the cake. He didn't have any ill effects at all. Didn't feel like it bothered him one little bit. My children had a couple of bites of it. They had their opinions that I shared with you earlier. But overall, I thought it was a success. We all agreed that the icing was fabulous. The icing was on point. It tasted like birthday cake icing, as close as you could get for a carnivore type thing. The cake was, it was what it was. It wasn't all eggy like some of these other cakes. But I think it's worth a try. I don't know that I'll make this again. I don't even know if I'm going to really get into the whole carnivore recipe thing, but I think the site is worth a visit and it's worth a try. Remember too, I changed the recipe. They put blueberries, honey, and lemon zest in the recipe, and I did not because I wanted to keep the impact on my metabolism at a minimum. So that could make a huge difference too. If you want to try the recipe and give me, a comment on how it turned out for you, I would love to read about it. So until next time, I hope you found this useful. Go out, have a great life, and choose meat.